Hey guys, GaiaGaiyus here. Mobile Suit Gundam, the ghost of Neo Zeon. What is this? Well, this little one-shot was written by Iwamura Toshiya, and it was released back in 1991 in Kodansha's official Gundam magazine, and acts as a small tie-in to Char's counterattack. Taking place nearly 1 year after the events of the film, this story acts as an interesting little side tale that acts to introduce something that most Gundam fans don't even know exists. A second unit to Amuro's new Gundam, and its fate, at least from what I've been able to realize about this thing, is one of the various reasons we don't see more new Gundam variants throughout the timeline. Our story begins 10 months after Char's rebellion, where we see a yacht Doga being pursued by Federation Jaegans as it makes planetfall towards the Earth, deploying a ball ute as it burns through the atmosphere, leaving the Jaegans in the dust. Its pilot seemingly on a mission to fulfill Casval Rem Daikun's legacy, spreading his spirit across the Earth. After this, we actually cut 6 months after the incident with the Jaegans, and we see on a beach that another Jaegan and this second new Gundam are searching the location. Rumors of our mysterious Zeon agent and their cohorts are said to be hiding somewhere out in this island, although the Jaegan pilot finds it unlikely. The salty waters would make quick work of any mobile suit if they stayed here too long. The pilot of this new Gundam, a man by the name of Lieutenant Masada, makes note that they still have orders to complete, and the readings say that the crash site was near here and they need to confirm if the pilot survived. The two pilots make camp. However, Masada's Jaegan companion, an ensign by the name of John, protests. Something feels wrong about this mission. He's been hearing ghost stories about this place. Transmissions from allied units have completely disappeared from this place. No trace, nothing. Masada himself has some suspicions about these rumors, of a possible phantom mobile suit lurking around. They hear a sound in the forest, and Masada thinks someone might be watching them. John himself gets freaked out as this place is totally deserted. However, John comments on the fact that perhaps Masada might have been able to sense whatever's out there, as due to the fact he pilots a new Gundam, he must be a strong new type. But, to John's hopes, Masada says he's no real new type. The fin funnels on his unit he can't seem to control. They're just for show in his eyes, and ever since he was given control of this machine, he's never been able to get them to work. John asks him why does he keep them equipped then, especially if he can't use them. And honestly, Masada just thinks they look cool. Masada then brings up that John must be looking forward to his wedding that's coming up soon. John shows him a picture of his fiancée, and that he's very excited about it all. However, he has some concerns about it. His father-in-law is a Federation higher-up, and he hopes with this mission's completion, he hopes with his return he gets the man's blessing to wed her. Masada notes, though, that it's a big risk. This mission, despite seeming so nonchalant, is considered by everyone else as near suicide. Mobile suits and search teams have disappeared for months on this island. He wonders if this mission, judging by their orders, might have been influenced by John's potential father-in-law in order to separate the two lovers. Nonetheless, Masada promises to make sure the young man gets home safe by the end of this. As the two share a nice moment, Masada sees a woman passing through the bushes. Masada yells at John to stay put as he begins to give chase. He comes to a clearing, swearing he could have seen someone. He looks at the top of a nearby hill. A Neo Zeon's pilot helmet has been placed atop a wooden cross. He sees the girl who ran. The girl seems somewhat saddened, as she then laments that this pilot, the one they seem to be looking for, was killed in the crash 3 months ago. Masada asks the girl about the mobile suit, and the girl says in somewhat of a mysterious tone that the crimson giant you seek slumbers beneath the waves. An explosion. Masada sees it back at the shore. John! Their campsite! The two hurry back. Masada and the girl. Ensign John, his Jaegan, is left smoking. The young man is bleeding to death on the sands. Masada tries to keep the man alive, but it's too late. The red mobile suit, the one they're looking for, it was hiding in the water. Masada runs to his new Gundam. He sets out into the waves, diving underwater. He floats beneath the waves, trying to detect the mobile suit's location. All throughout this, Masada wonders how this is possible. If what that girl said was true, then how is this possible? Ultimately, he spots the machine with his suit's enhanced sensors. Deep below the water, an image appears on his screen. A rusting mobile suit, covered in seaweed. Its form pulsing a ghostly blackish red aura from its empty cockpit. That's impossible. It has no pilot. Could the stories be true? Is it a ghost? The GaiaGaiyus releases its funnels. A beam forces Masada to dodge and blast out from under the water. As the Gundam and its pilot fly out into the air, Masada can spot something impossible to the eye. That girl, the girl he mistook for a native, the one who was honoring that grave, she's a new type. An extremely powerful one. The girl is radiating psychic energy from her body as she stands on the edge of the island cliffs. The girl says that she was lying. The grave was a ruse. She was the pilot, the one behind all of these disappearances. And this mobile suit, this strange GaiaGaiyus, is very unique, as it can be controlled externally via her powers, all channeled through the unit's Psychomu. Masada is bewildered by this statement. That's impossible. That technology doesn't exist. But here it is, plain as day. The girl explains the past events, her mission. It was all a test. Her pursuit, her arrival on this island, a test for Zeon to study the powers of this device. With a machine like this, the spirit of Casval Remdaikun will finally rise again. Masada, though, is left furious. He doesn't care. This girl, whatever plan she's a part of, it doesn't matter. My friend is dead. He was going to get married soon, and she's gonna pay. This sentiment leads him to try and attack the girl, trying to shoot her with the Gundam's arm-mounted beam gun. However, this act is all in vain. Masada's new Gundam is destroyed. 6 funnel beams from the GaiaGaiyus fire, impaling the suit from every direction. Left bleeding and dying, and his Gundam sinking beneath the waters, Lieutenant Masada's last breaths send the Gundam's funnels finally into activation, a single beam vaporizing the cliff face where the girl stands. Days pass. Federation investigators continue to discover the ruins of the battle. A new Gundam, a Jagan, and an immobile GaiaGaiyus lying destroyed on the beach. The rust from the waves already setting in, consuming them all. The investigators, not knowing the truth about what happened, pin the blame solely on the 2 now dead Federation pilots, who, by this investigation, have concluded that the search teams and the 2 now dead pilots were killed by friendly fire, it would seem. The GaiaGaiyus, despite being found washed ashore, had been rusted beyond repair. However, one thing is left uncertain at the very end of all this. The GaiaGaiyus, by the evidence, had not moved a single inch in the entire 3 months the machine had been sitting there on the shore. The Zeon pilot's remains were never accounted for. So, what just happened? Well, let's talk about it. This story seems a little bit far-fetched, and I think it's supposed to be that way by design. It's a ghost story, nothing more. I like the idea that this one-shot proposes, with the thought that the Zeon pilot girl is in fact not alive throughout the entire story, as the way she acts and the way she speaks isn't exactly the way a normal person talks, and with the symbology of the makeshift cross with her pilot's helmet left there, it seems like all the more the case. And the idea that these 2 Federation pilots are in fact dealing with an island haunted by a new type ghost is somewhat interesting. 2 Federation teams, along with Masada and John, were all killed and disappeared, looking for a mysterious GaiaGaiyus that ventured to Earth on a secret mission that we know nothing about. Now, for those who are a little confused about that, as most hardcore Gundam fans only know that 2 GaiaGaiyus were ever constructed, so what's with this new one? Well, my personal theory, for now at least, is that this unit is one of the spares we've been seeing getting thrown around throughout modern UC stories, like Quest Pariah's GaiaGaiyus. However, that unit, as many of you would know, eventually would be passed on to the sleeves, becoming the brown GaiaGaiyus we see in Gundam Unicorn. So that only leaves Gyune's, but Gyune was completely destroyed in Char's counterattack. So, what else could it be? Well, ever since the release of Gundam Silver Phantom, it seems that Sunrise and Bandai have been experimenting with the idea of GaiaGaiyus spare units, at least a few that managed to wiggle their way into the modern canon. Now, as for my personal theory, it is my belief, until proven otherwise, that this unit is not in fact a GaiaGaiyus at all. In fact, if we wanted to stretch things a little bit further, despite the artwork depicting a GaiaGaiyus, shown being very active in this little fight, it's my personal belief that this unit is in fact the precursor to the GaiaGaiyus, the AMX-120 Psychomu system type Gyaradoga. The unit's red, why not let it be this one until then? As for the new Gundam, let's get into some crackpot theory territory. Masada's new Gundam is what I'm going to call the Unit 2. Now, you might be saying, GaiaGaiyus, there's only one new Gundam. It's Amuro's, and nothing can ever surpass it, and you're right. And with this little display of my own handcannon with the Yak Doga on display, you might be thinking of this new Gundam might be one of the mass production models, and to that I like to say, yeah, that would make sense, and it would be the easy thing to say, as the new Gundam mass production model does have a fin funnel option. But here's where I want to say no. This one-shot shows us a new Gundam. Just a new Gundam. No visible main modifications, but however, how do we get a genuine Unit 2 out of a machine that only ever had one unit built in terms of what's canonical? Well, let me introduce you to the new Gundam double fin funnel type. Yes, I'm going there. It is my personal belief that the new Gundam that appears in this little one-shot manga is in fact the unit that would be used to display the double fin funnel type that's shown in CCA MSV. And to that you might be saying, wait, isn't the double fin funnel type just a slight change to the weapons layout? No. It may appear that way, but not truly. You see, the new Gundam double fin funnel type is actually one of the more interesting variants of the new Gundam in my opinion, as the unit itself has actually undergone some very subtle yet extremely complex alterations. For example, shown here on the real grade conversion set for the thing, the head, shoulders, beam rifle, shield chest, and skirt armor have all been given all of these small modifications to help the unit stand out close up, something that a Unit 2 for a new Gundam might have just been trying to accomplish, a unit meant to technically bridge the technical gap between Amuro's new Gundam and the later RX-94 mass production type. Very fitting for a generic pilot to be given, much like how Masada comes off as a very shallow character. But, understandably, with this little incident we see in the story, it actually makes a little bit of sense when you think about it. With Amuro's Gundam lost in Char's Rebellion, and Masada's trial test unit for a streamlined mass production of the machine being lost in some kind of freak disaster, it would make sense that this would actually be very devastating to the RX-94's potential development. Anyways, I just think this little one-shot's kind of fun. Think about it like this. The new Gundam is the most powerful machine that the Federation and Londo Bell have ever constructed. They're probably never going to try to give up this machine despite its power. However, with Amuro's prototype being lost during the Second Neo Zeon War, it would actually make a lot of sense that if there were to be a replica of this machine built, its first mission would be a very easy one, like a search and rescue operation. But with such a freak accident occurring, and the Federation officials having no idea what exactly happened, the destruction of this second new Gundam would ultimately lead to the Federation's decision to abandon the new Gundam project entirely. As if a new Gundam model, despite being so powerful, were lost in a terrible friendly fire accident, as the Federation officials believe, the loss of such an expensive model would no doubt send a ripple effect through the Mobile Suit's development project. Anywho, not much else I want to say. A couple of Fedi pilots went looking for a ghost and died when they found it. You know, typical new type stuff. Anyways, I really just wanted to make a short video about my thoughts on this little one-shot, and the whole idea that this story introduces the idea of there being another new Gundam into the expanded lore. And yes, this unit is its own thing. It even has its own unique pilot insignia by the looks of it. Yeah, weird. Seeing a different emblem on the shoulder of a mainline UC new Gundam that isn't Amuro's is something I never thought I'd ever see. Anyways, that'll be it for this video. Tune in next time where I go into other obscure Gundam stories, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, turn on notifications to make sure you're caught up with my videos, and this is GaiaGaiyus, signing off. Bye!